we're back.
We're back. I don't know if anybody even heard anything we said.
Yeah, I know, right?
Higawona. Niake.
Niake Janet. Alito.
Osio.
Winna.
Kunamante.
Madawaka.
That's the Huntedish.
Kikadoos.
Chokma.
Stongo Oshkinyecha.
What's that? Mike.
Hanapi.
Yate.
Do we get them all?
I think that's it. The ones we know, anyways.
Shoda.
Buenos dias.
Shoda. Good morning. Good morning. Hope, we tried to go live once. Our Wi-Fi didn't work out. Our camera was tripping. And the speakers were not matching up with our
audio.
So
hopefully we got it now.
Yeah, hopefully we're in this piece. But how you doing, Mr. Revelis?
Doing all right, man.
You having a good morning?
Having a good morning. I forgot that we were actually off on Monday. I felt like we were here all week, but it's felt like a long week, even though we've only been here for the 4 days out of the week.
After laying around all weekend?
Yeah. Not doing nothing.
Yeah, I didn't feel good, part of Saturday and part of Sunday. So, it was like I didn't even have my appetite. And if I got anything, it's always my appetite. So, it was, I don't know, I just kind of laid around.
Mm-hmm.
Laid there and just kind of kicked back, and I don't ever hardly get to do that. But yesterday was my son's birthday. I didn't even give him a birthday shout out.
It's all right.
No. Yeah. But, we had
to jump back on and gave him one.
I know, right? I was like, but yeah, my mind was everywhere yesterday.
You were saving lives.
Saving lives, it kind of happens. But he had a good birthday. His aunt always makes him a good. I mean, whatever the kids, want, she goes, she'll whoop it up for him.
Yeah.
So it was good. We had a good cake. It was nice.
It's good.
It was nice. He turns 11. He's the same exact size I am, but he's got bigger feet.
I can't believe he is 11.
Yeah, he's only 11.
And he's already.
Yeah.
That's why I said it cracked me up seeing that picture of him holding you last night. I was like, man, that guy, he's 11 years old. And
yeah.
By next year, he's going to be towering above you.
Yeah. Penelope already is. She's already 2 inches taller than me.
Yeah.
She's already She's already 6'2". Yeah.
Looking down at you. What'd you say?
But, it's funny because their mom was, she was pretty tall.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty tall. So, but yeah, it was, we had a good time. It was relaxing to, you just want to see your kids just smile.
Yeah.
So, so I was like, so what do you want to do? You want to go out and eat? You want to go see the movies? You want to go bowling? What do you, And he's like, movie I want to see doesn't come out till next week. But I don't know how I'm going to pull that off because in the state fair.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always an arm and a leg.
It definitely is.
So, I mean, I'll probably save up this week so I can.
Or did he tell you what he wants to see?
Well, he wants to see Demon Slayer.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
So, I just bought him the game yesterday.
Nice.
But he's also, the cool thing about my kids, man, and, they got to get this from their mom or from, their mother's family, is my kids like to go to Barnes and Noble and just get series of books.
Yeah.
That definitely does not come from me, But, it's cool, my kids are definitely different.
he was a little bitty guy still. He was still skinny.
Oh, okay.
We're
Guess
back.
we're back. Guess we're back.
Start stories over again.
Yeah.
So, no.
What do the comments say? Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're cheap here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No good
Sam
internet.
says, "Good morning, fellas. Have an awesome day. I love that shirt."
Thank you. You know, and it was crazy because whenever I grabbed it out of the closet, I was like, she's gonna see this today and watch. She's gonna say something about it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I appreciate the shirt.
And Natalie put for the watchers, hold on for technical difficulties. And then Marcos put eyes. So good morning,
Eyes.
Marcos. Nyokit.
Yeah. Okay.
Forgot he's CNA.
Is he
Sometimes.
is he
No, he's not CNA.
yeah, he is.
Adopted.
He's adopted. No, I'm pretty sure he is.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I mean, I don't
tell
know.
us at some point.
Well, his father-in-law, you know, is like the arrow keeper. So you would hope. Yeah.
He wouldn't just let anybody.
He said
said-
honorary.
Honorary. Okay. All right. Well, you sure do X CNA. That's for damn sure.
Tendencies.
Yeah. But-
Not Cassandra.
Well, not. I feel that way. They're just all kinds of off track.
I know, like that threw me off.
I
You
don't know how
know,
many-
kind of messed up my flow.
Marco said he's married in.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right.
I've been there.
Yeah. You want to talk about that? Yeah, I'm just
Where shall we begin?
yeah.
CNA nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They all come up to me all the time. Uncle,
Unc.
Uncle, give me $1.
Mhm.
Like, man, you ain't seen me in years, and you still
And
coming up
you
here
want money?
asking me for money.
Yeah. CNA.
I was like, go find your auntie.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah. Mm.
Whoops. I
What
mean,
else we got?
April
on?
Severs says, "Good morning from McLeod, Kickapoo country."
all right. Thank you for
Mm.
tuning in. We appreciate that.
Gwina.
Winna.
So Mingo is out on his way
Mingo
to Puerto Rico.
Is he? I thought he left last night at midnight.
Well, he had to go to Dallas to fly out, so they drove.
Oh,
from
they
there,
drove down to Dallas.
and then they were flying out this morning. He said early this morning, but I don't ever take what Mingo says. He's probably not even up yet. So
well, hopefully, you know. Well, he said they were flying to Atlanta, and then they were flying to Puerto Rico.
So at least he said he's going to try to do a live down there, but you know how he is. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
but
Then this weekend we got Prevention in the Park. You want to go visit Tatum and Theta down at Scissortail. And then we have Weird Al going on at Lucky Star.
Tatum and Tita.
Yeah, and I think Sean and Raina will be out there at Weird Al.
Raina, are they going to Weird Al?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and
Then we
then
have
Cat
Cat
Fest
Fest on
is Sunday.
Sunday.
I'm definitely making.
There's going to be tons of people out there for Cat Fest. So
That'll be fun.
you guys come out and visit. See us live in person.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would have to say that's one of the great things about, you know, you get to go to all the Lucky Star concerts.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You know, we get to hand out Narcan. We get to hand out information, maybe not only about what we do, but about different substances that are in the community. We get to hand it. We call it the ultimate concert pack, party pack.
Yeah.
You know, you get condoms, you get Plan Bs, and you get Narcan. I mean,
staying safe
what
all
better-
around.
yeah, what better way to celebrate?
Absolutely.
You know, and so yeah,
Staying alive, staying safe,
alive, stay safe.
and then staying safe the next day
Mhm.
if you need it.
If you need it. So yeah, it's, you know, it's always. I like the fact that Lucky Star supports, you know, our cause and always allows us the space to come and do what we do.
Yeah.
So I've been to quite a few concerts, you know, for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. Get to see country bands, rock and roll bands. Yeah, it's always a good time. So yeah, that'll be going on this weekend. That's really it. We
Yeah,
got a
pretty much.
busy
Well,
week next week.
Cassandra and Tatum will be on the panel at the AST retreat, I believe.
Is that this weekend?
The women's one, I believe.
Okay.
And then yours is next weekend, right?
Yeah, mine's next weekend
So that's at FAM, right?
at FAM.
So if you haven't signed up, check it out.
Check it
Sign
out.
up, go listen to them
Absentee
share their
Shawnee
stories.
Tribe is having a women's retreat this weekend.
Yep.
At FAM, First American Museum. And then next weekend it'll be the men's retreat at FAM. So, I'm on a panel. I believe me and John Soap were, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure it was me and John.
Very nice.
So that's pretty cool. I'm sure there'll be other speakers or whatnot, but every opportunity I get, I mean, I'm not afraid to get up and, say the little bit that I got to say.
You got a lot to say.
I always got a lot to say. But that's all right, though. I remember, this time in my life where I suffered in silence.
Yep.
So I enjoy recovering out loud today. And, I feel the way I look at it is I feel blessed that I even have the opportunity.
Right.
Because I got friends and family that never did. They never got that opportunity. They, just never had the opportunity to know the freedom that I have today. So I love talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Do we have any more comments, Miss?
Two. David Deere says, "Good morning." Cassandra says Tatum and I will be speaking on a panel this weekend as well.
That's it. Stongo David.
Stongo David. Stongo out the sky.
It's like we're afraid to get into like anything.
I know we're
real
waiting
deep
on the.
'cause we keep on waiting for the Wi-Fi just to go off again. So I guess we could just start reading the meditation.
Just go ahead and jump off into that bad boy.
All right. We're still in the stubborn meditations with our elders. Today is September 5th. Today's reading comes from Tom Porter, Mohawk. The decisions that have been made for the last couple of centuries have been decisions made without the presence of a real God, from the vision, not of God, but of money. As we view the world today, it's easy to see the people are off track. We are no longer living in harmony. Focusing on the material only leads us from the path of the Creator. We must now pray for ourselves and the people in a pitiful way. We must be humble and ask the Great Spirit to intervene, because if we don't, our children will continue to have troubles. They are acting out our behavior as adults. Today is a good time to start. We need to get the spiritual way back into our lives. We need to focus on the spiritual, not on the material. My Creator, help me to focus on the spiritual way.
Mado, Mr. Revelis, for reading that. I can remember a time in my life where I always focused on what I did not have. To me, it mattered what kind of shoes I had on, kind of car I had, like very ungrateful thinking.
Right.
Very self-centered, but at the same time, I was also in my addiction, right? So it was as if I didn't understand the concept of spiritual balance, of being, in harmony with myself.
Right.
And it was something that I heard the other day, and I don't know why it's coming to me now, but it was like, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world? Or would you rather be at peace with yourself and at war with the world?
Makes sense.
And that was definitely me. I surrounded myself with chaos. and I was disconnected from uh, my natural state of creation. Kind of forgot who I was and where I came from. And like they always say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Hmm.
And I got caught up in the street life where you need that instant gratification. There was no when you need that instant gratification and you're just trying to survive. These things that really don't matter become important. I was the last thing I was worried about was my health. You get so self-centered that even though I considered myself a good dad, it was like almost impossible for me to set myself up to be a consistent dad.
Right.
And then then these small things become like wearing a gold chain, a nice watch, nice shoes, and then it gets those types of things become so important. Then it's like, do I even have clean clothes? Can I even wash my clothes?
Right.
Like when you're in that state of mind where these little objects, these little things, they become so important, and it was all fueled by chasing that dollar. I would have to say, like, for me, it was harder for me to stop selling drugs than it was to stop doing them. I mean, that's because I depended on that income for so long.
Right.
That you think that that's the only, because you lose touch of who you are, through these substances, through substance use disorder. You lose touch of like I'd worked in construction for years, like 20 years. And that wasn't even like, oh well, I can go get a construction job.
Hmm.
Now it was I can go get a sack fronted. And you know what, like when you get into that mindset, you always become your best your best customer.
Right.
And then you owe yourself. you know you're making excuses for using. But whenever I think about this meditation, like for the past couple of centuries, decisions were made without a real God, fueled by money. Like these people thought that they discovered us. Like that's crazy. Like that's crazy to think that somebody think that they discovered us. I'm pretty sure we were living good lives.
Hmm.
We didn't even know what sickness was. Not the kind that they brought. Money was probably crazy to us. Just trying to understand, and like it's not our system. Like when I feel like when those things become important, we lose touch of who we really are.
Hmm.
Like that's where that disconnect starts to happen. And so just being able to like to just sit here and talk about it, I mean, it almost feels like a blessing. Do I get caught up in it sometimes? Yeah, of course. Like today we have different values. Today we have different principles, than what we had maybe 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. It's like our values keep changing as the world keeps evolving. And I don't know if it's getting worse or if the mindset just stays the same and we keep adapting to what we think is important.
Hmm.
But since I've been sober and I've been able to practice these principles, these spiritual laws that that I have my foundation, that's what makes up my foundation. That's what allowed me to wake up in my own bed.
Hmm.
you know, in my own, you know, like I got food in the refrigerator, I got, you know, warm water, and I got clean clothes. You know, I don't, I don't I feel like a rich man. You know, I don't sit here and focus on what I don't have anymore. When that used to be, you know, I used to feel like a failure because I didn't have a white picket fence, you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't have, you know, all these things that we call normal, you know, but being able to be sober, being able to be an active participant, you know, in my ceremonies, in my community, um, you know, I've learned how to do the right thing when nobody's looking, you know, and because I am sober, you know, I do get to experience, you know, what having money feels like, you know.
Yeah.
Paid my bills, you know, rent's due today, paid my electric last night. I mean, I remember a time where I prayed for those problems. You know, so to actually be sitting here in my prayer and hoping that material things are not the motive behind, you know, because then that's, you know, bondage of self. You know, when you get into those type of, you know, when you get into that mindset. Of
Mhm.
course, you know, I have goals. Of course, you know, there's things that I want for my grandkids, you know, for my own kids. You know, I see the things that make them happy, but I also am able to express, you know, love. I'm also able to show them, you know, what respect is. And you know, I just hope that, you know, those are the things that they're picking up on. You know, because we were talking about that last night with my son. You know, he was 6, 7 years old, and maybe younger than that, maybe 5 or 6. You know, he was young, and I got him, you know, a Switch, Nintendo Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets mad and he threw it in the toilet.
Whoa,
You know,
man.
couldn't beat the stage, and he just throws it in the toilet. And it was just like, okay, you know, like what am I thinking giving a 5 year old, you know, like, but it was just, you know, like that's what he wanted, and I thought that was what was important. I thought that's what being a dad was because I couldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now today, you know, like the smile on his face just because I was there, you know, when he blew his candles out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that exceeds anything else that, you know, I've been able to try to provide. You know, like he's because, you know, he already done forgot about that Switch.
He's still paying it off though.
Yeah. You know, like I was like, remember that Switch? Because somebody was said, you know, what about Johnny's Nintendo Switch?
Oh
You
my
know, and I was like,
goodness.
yeah, Johnny's that the one you threw in the toilet? And he was just kind of like, you know, like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
wouldn't do that.
yeah. But you know, I wasn't able to be there
Mm-hmm.
then, and I was trying to use these material things to, you know, maybe to be his dad. You know, like if you want to, you know, put it in those terms,
There's a way
you
of
know,
showing up
yeah,
whenever you're not really there.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and to see the smile on his face, you know, because I was there with him, man, I mean, that just blows anything else that I can think of out of the water. You know, like that's what he needs is, you know, love and consistency, and you know, like the things that make him smile is that he can say that, you know, because you know, it's, you know, I that's part of the reason why I got sober. You know, is after his mother passed away, it was kind of like I thought God was playing a cruel joke on all of us because he was stuck here with me. You know, like I'm just like, you know, like how can you do that to my kids?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but instead of sitting in that self-pity party. I found a way to not only honor her but honor them.
Yeah.
Every day, and I do that through staying sober. So, I'm probably going way off track, so I'm just gonna shut up now.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, I tried.
Yeah.
Oh, his share wasn't that good. I got you.
Mm.
That's good, man. When I was reading this morning, I centered around because everybody goes through a stage where their priorities change,
Oh yeah.
and like I remember for a long period of time we had selfish priorities, or I had selfish priorities, and it was centered around making sure that I had the best items, or like I was doing things way out of the way to try to make sure that this was happening because I wanted well, back then it was just Mello. I wanted Mello to look the best, and I wanted him to have these things, and I wanted him to be able to do this and do this and do this, and just constantly trying to be involved in making sure that it was just like you just said, it was just our way of showing up without ever really, really showing up. And I think that list of priorities changes as you start figuring out who you are and how you're how you start connecting to creator and developing that relationship, because that becomes your top priority. And once that becomes your top priority, like everything else starts to trickle down to where that's the most important. But then you start realizing that if this isn't the most important and that relationship isn't good, you're not going to have good relationships underneath there, and you're not going to
Mhm.
be able to have, you're never going to find the satisfaction in anything else. And where we were, when we were out in the world and we were doing anything and everything to try to find that little bit of satisfaction for a short period of time, now we understand that it's centered around our relationship with God, it's centered around our relationship with creator, and that the satisfaction is only going to come through that relationship, not through any relationship we have that's going on in the world or with even with another person. And it's crazy to think that, because sometimes even your closest people, whenever you're trying to develop yourself, will disappear. Who you think are your closest people in your life will disappear. Even family members will disappear because they can't understand your journey that you're going through, and they start to turn it around to where they think that you're being selfish because you're only focused on yourself. And in reality, you're bettering yourself because you want to have a better relationship with the people that are in your life, especially your kids. And I think that's a big part of how we grow over time, and understanding our priorities and where our satisfaction really comes from and where our good relationships really come from. And I think that if you look about how we used to be, and we used to have a real close family dynamic whenever we were, you know, back in the day. And I think that's why we were so centered around everything. Everybody used to learn by passing the knowledge down. And I think that we're slowly starting to get back into that, and it's starting to connect us back to our culture more. And it's helping us to develop our relationships, not with just with each other, but with God and creator. And that's, of course we know that that's the most important part, and prayer being a centered part of that. But it's just crazy how these meditations have lined up where, like, these 4 days this week, it just helps you to understand like where your priorities need to be, and where your real satisfaction comes from, and where your relationships need to be, and how important it is for you to be able to kind of take a step back and understand that just because it feels like your journey may be going through a hard time, or your life, you're going through a rough time, that you still have to find a time to be grateful for whatever it is, because you're going to be stronger after going through it. So that's my share today.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
What do we have? Any comments?
Yes.
Resi Day.
Riley Brown says, love listening to this while doing work.
Thank you.
Jen
Yes,
Miller
thank
says,
you.
good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Jen and Billings.
Villains.
Rain Romano says, Pivawona Nyakit.
Everyone, nyake,
One Migwitch.
miigwech. That means thank you.
Yeah, that's what one of them said.
Miigwech.
Riley
Jib.
Brown.
Riley Brown said that.
Jibway. Well, my first sponsor was Chippewa, and he used to say that. But it's the same tribe, ain't it? Chippewa and Ojibwe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, he's from Michigan,
Oh.
so yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah, because it was funny because he was like, "What tribe are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm Cheyenne." He said, "Oh yeah, my tribe ran you out of Minnesota." I was like, "Oh wow."
Yeah. Okay.
So what's up then? Yeah.
Still trying to beef or what?
Yeah, I started beefing. Just kidding, Sam. Just kidding, bro. But yeah, so that's all I really got.
So when I first got around here, everybody always used to give me crap for being Pawnee all the time. Like, why are you
You're
even over?
Pawnee.
Why are you over here?
Yeah. You're Pawnee. I use Oto.
Both of them. Just like you're,
No, you pick
you're
one.
still Kiowa.
Pick
you're
one.
still Arapaho. Pick one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Pawnee then. Always been.
Wow.
Never changed.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's all I really got for today.
Me too. These connection issues messed us up.
Yeah, these connection issues got me scared, thinking that it's gonna cut off any moment.
Anytime.
Resi, Desi. I mean, no, Resi Day,
Resi Day.
Desiree.
Desiree. Was there anything you would like to share about the meditation?
No.
Get that money? Yeah.
It's all about that money.
Yeah, make that money. Make it rain. Nah, it was a good meditation.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, we forget. Like yesterday, seeing my son smile. Like sometimes we forget. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah. Small things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have showed up with nothing. And he would have appreciated, me just being there. Because I remember, I don't know, like I've never really sat down and talked about all the birthdays that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Never really sat down and talked about that. But one day, one of these days we'll get there. And I'm hoping that he was so young that there's not really a recollection of. But knowing him, he might know every day. I don't know.
I got it in a book.
It's like I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, little man. Yeah.
Little man.
Next year's.
Yeah, next year.
I know you just came over here for this cake.
Yeah. But yeah, it's sometimes we forget what things are about. And it's when you have them instead of them aha moments, I like to call them aho moments.
Aho moment.
When you're able to say aho, to the creator for helping you realize something. So that's all I really got today. We appreciate everybody that tuned in.
Absolutely.
We appreciate everybody that, just even comments. We're glad to interact with you. I mean, we're going to be pretty busy next week. As far as there's a CHR conference Monday. Then what is there Tuesday? Nothing Tuesday, right?
I don't think nothing up there right now. And
Nothing
then
up there.
we got the
Wednesday,
Voices
Sacred
Conference.
Voices, Danny Trejo,
Yeah.
down in Lawton.
Then
Then the Gourd dance later on that night.
yes.
The Gourd clan will be taking part, in a mini powwow.
Come shake some gourds and pop some.
Yeah,
Frenches
down
with
in
us.
Lawton. Then Thursday, back here,
Nothing
kicking
on
back.
Thursday, yeah.
And then Friday. So I mean, like we just got to be out of the office.
Yeah, and then it's state fair time.
Yeah, then it's state fair time. Is that so?
There's a suicide prevention walk, it looks like, in Elk City on Saturday. And then your retreat at FAM.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't think anything else is going on this upcoming week.
I gotta send Karen that W-9. I keep forgetting.
I'm gonna read one last comment.
Go ahead.
It's about this weekend. Lynn on said recovery in the park this weekend, Scissortail Park, Saturday at 6
Yeah.
p.m.
Thank you, Miss Anzawa.
Adventure
Yeah,
in the park.
Theta and Tatum are going to be up there representing Tor. So, Tatum, have you met Lynn? Lynn Anzawa?
Lynn Onzawa.
Well, you'll have a chance to,
Me-
you since you know the Tor, the Tor logo. If you could come and meet our two peers, Theta and Tatum. So and her name is Lynn. You'll know her when you see her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there'll be another great
If
connection.
you
to
don't,
make.
she's going to be really hurt about it.
Yeah, so she's good people. She really is. When I need help, she's always there to help me out. So yeah, recovery in the park this weekend at Scissortail Park. We went to it last year, me and Darian. So it was a pretty cool experience. They had good food. It was pretty cool event. So
I didn't notice until last night because I think you had your hat off when he had you in that chokehold.
oh yeah,
How much you guys look alike now that you're trying to grow your hair out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man. I about had to double take because I was like, which one does he have him in a chokehold?
Yeah, it was funny because I showed him. I was like, "Here, Johnny, let me show you this chokehold." And as soon as his sister comes in, Dad, just show me a new chokehold. Come here.
Now they're both going to be practicing
Yeah, I
it
know,
around on
right?
each other. It's all
But
right, though.
yeah, that's all I really got.
Good.
Well, like, share, follow, tell your mammy about us, and we will see you next week. I hope.